We are back. The post-game reaction shows, live shows, whatever you want to call this, is back. Thank you for taking the time to tune in live with me to react to a very frustrating Suns loss, which we are going to talk about here on Suns Geek. If you guys are new, do me a huge favor, you guys. Hulk smash that like button. Please subscribe. The best way to keep supporting the channel is just to keep watching, and I do appreciate any and all support. Also, quick little house note. I did tweet this out, and I put it on the Suns community page. For a while now, I believe that there's been a small microphone issue where the left side is kind of a lot louder than the right side, especially if you have earphones on or headphones on. Trying to get that figured out. It's sort of a running joke on this channel, but when I say that I'm a one-man show, it really is true. I'm a one-man show, and sometimes there's just a lot of technical difficulties. So just wanted to get that out of the way. Hopefully soon I can get that fixed. And it sucks that, I had to bring back the post-game, reaction shows on a night like this. I thought this was going to be a much better night, but this was definitely frustrated. Let me just say this, you guys, and I even tweeted this out. You guys know me. I keep things very, very positive on this channel, and don't get it twisted. When we were 4-6 and everybody thought the season was over and they wanted Frank Vogle fired, I got on an hour and a half live show and pretty much was super positive and defended the Phoenix Suns and everything. So don't get it twisted. I'm a very positive person, a very positive Suns content creator, whatever you want to call me. But tonight was bad. I might get a little bit negative tonight, y'all. This was just, I even tweeted it out. I said the Phoenix Suns should be kicking themselves if they lose this game, which they did. This is just one of those losses where you should be kicking yourselves. And I know the Suns are going to say their typical PR stuff, and it's just frustrating from a fan's perspective. So let me just take a seat. I can't even talk tonight, you guys. Let me just take a sip of water real quick, and then we'll try to dive into some positives, but it's probably going to be mostly a negative show. And I know I always say this, but I'll probably be live. This will be a shorter live reaction show just because, hey, the Suns didn't win and it was a bad game. So with that being said, cheers. Delicious. All right, guys. Also, I am keeping my eye on my phone just to see if Frank Vogle or anybody says anything about the Booker injury. And I guess, you know what? I guess we'll start with that. We will start with Devin Booker. And now, they showed it on the replay. If you missed it, Devin Booker did tweak his ankle, or he rolled his ankle, if you will. He was driving in, I believe it might have been Dennis Schroeder or another Raptors player, and he tweaked his ankle, sort of hobbled off. It was weird because prior to the ankle roll, he went to the bench for another reason. I don't know if they exactly explained why, but after the ankle roll, he did go to the locker room, and then they said on the broadcast that it was an ankle roll, but he was able to get back into the game. And I was watching him very closely when he got back into the game, and he was very, the common cliche word is ginger or gingerly. He wasn't himself. He wasn't 100%. You could just tell, he would kind of just jog up the court a little bit, stand in the corner. There was maybe 3 straight possessions where he just stood in the corner. You could tell he wasn't 110%. A few sequences here and there where he would speed up on defense or, go up for an offensive rebound. But there was one sequence in particular that kind of got me nervous. Is I believe he went up for an offensive rebound. And he kind of back tapped it to Kevin Durant. And when he landed, he literally lightly jogged up the court. It kind of looked like he was baby stepping up the court. That kind of got me nervous. And again, follow me on Twitter. I even tweeted that out. After that, he kind of looked like he was moving okay. And I wrote it down. He had this little kind of step back move, which the shot missed, but he looked good when he had the step back shot. And then to be honest with you, after that, I don't know how he looked because I knew the game was over. Now, statistics wise, obviously it was not a bad night. And I'm not even going to blame the injury on Devin Booker's bad night because a lot of this happened before the injury occurred. Devin Booker finished tonight's game with 33 minutes. And yes, we're going to talk about him entering the game in the fourth quarter. I have some thoughts on that. And again, we're going to find out, I guess, why he went back into the game in a minute. But before the injury and after the injury, Devin Booker's numbers tonight, 33 minutes, 2 for 12 shooting, a horrific shooting night. 2 for 12 shooting. Now, again, some of that was after the injury, but still, even before then, he was not shooting well. 8 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. I mean, at least he had 5 assists, but this was a terrible, terrible night for Devin Booker all around. And I feel bad. I really feel bad, you guys, because I just made a video talking about how Devin Booker is playing at an MVP level, and he just had that incredible game in New York where he hit the game-winning shot, and then the Suns just come out completely flat. Oh, and don't worry, we're going to talk about the Phoenix Suns as a team in a minute here, but the Suns come out flat. Booker can't hit a shot to save his life, goes to the locker room for some reason, then he tweaks the ankle. I call it tweak, but he really rolled the ankle. And then has a terrible shooting night, and it was just a bad, bad, bad night. How you guys doing? Are you guys doing okay? Let me know in the chat if you guys are doing okay. I'll try to keep my eye on the chat, okay? I will do my best to keep my eye on the chat. I want to know how you guys are doing. Anyways. Don't worry, I wrote down some notes, and we will get to the notes in a minute. You guys know I like to do that on here. But the Suns as a team, look, how do I say this? The Raptors were on a back-to-back, and it's not even the back-to-back that I'm really frustrated about. And I understand it was a long road trip. I understand the Suns had the last 2 days off on the road. But that's sort of where I'm getting at. That's sort of where I'm a little frustrated. And look, I know we're not going to go 82-0. I get it. But this is one of those losses where the Suns should be kicking themselves. And I guess it's really more frustrating because we did have those 2 days off. I don't care if we were on the road or not. We had 2 days off. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. It's a long 3-game road trip, with Thanksgiving and everything and all that stuff. Like, I get it, but it's just really frustrating. Like, this was sort of one of those give me games, especially with the Raptors being on a back-to-back. And give the Raptors credit because, one, as I just said, they were on a back-to-back, but two, they came out the better team tonight in most areas, if not all areas of the game, especially in the first half. I can maybe understand a bad, second half from the Phoenix Suns, but a bad first half when we had 2 games off and the Raptors were just on a back-to-back is unacceptable. And again, you guys know me. I keep it pretty positive. My dog just opened my door. Hold on. I got to close the door real quick. Yeah, it's going to be one of those shows, guys, where just whatever happens, happens. My dog just entered the room. Give me a second, guys. Hold on. Okay, what was I talking about? I don't know what I was talking about. Anyways, it's just frustrating. It just seemed from the jump that the Raptors came out the more focused team. They had better energy. Quentin Crawford is one of our assistant coaches, and he talked about it at halftime that the Raptors did a good job of not letting us get into a rhythm. The Suns, first off, couldn't hit a shot to save their lives, in my opinion, especially in the first half and first quarter. Sorry, I'm reading Coda Kid's comment. Don't my nephews what I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on in the comments. Anyways, But yeah, the Raptors did a good job of keeping us out of our offensive rhythm with their size and their length. And yeah, someone in the chat says dog guest star. Yeah, he just jumped on my bed after he opened my door and I had to close it. But yeah, this was just a rough night, you guys. The Suns just looked out of sync and we just couldn't get anything going, and that is an understatement. Don't get me wrong, there were some good takeaways throughout this game, and we are going to talk about it, but it's like it just doesn't really seem to matter. And again, I'm keeping my eye on my phone just to make sure if anything is being reported on Booker's ankle. I'm sure they're probably icing it up and looking at it right now. Ooh, okay, so let's continue with that before I continue on with the Suns here. Booker's return in the fourth quarter. I was engaging with somebody on Twitter about this. And I understand that it probably should have been smartest to not bring him back in, right? I understand that. And I understand that, you know, maybe the coaching staff should have, how do I say this? Negative, schmegative. Thanks for keeping it 100, Sons Geek. I love this comment so much. Thank you, Anthony. That's great. I understand that the coaching staff, especially Frank Vogle, probably should have overthrown Devin Booker's decision. And look, I probably sound like a completely biased homer here, but I wonder if maybe Devin Booker said, Coach Vogle, let me pray. Let me not pray. Let me, Coach Vogle, let me pray. Coach Vogle, please let me play. Now, was that the wisest decision from Devin Booker? And look, I have no confirmation if Devin Booker actually did that. And I don't really know if a coaching staff can necessarily overthrow, which I'm pretty sure they can overthrow a player like Devin Booker. But what I was engaging with somebody on Twitter about was, I was like, if you were a coach, like, would you really want to say no to Devin Booker in this scenario? So I'm trying to look at it through both sides of the coin. Like, first off, and look, now you guys probably would ask me the same question. Well, Sons Geek, would you have played Devin Booker if you were the coach? Probably not. But if Devin Booker was like, Coach, let me give this a try, let me go out there, I think it was the timing. I think it was the timing of Booker returning to the game. That's how I think about it. And look, this may not be a problem in a week, but I just hope we're not, you know, kicking ourselves down the road because Devin Booker decided to go back into the game. And I'm just praying that he is safe and he's okay and the ankle's going to be fine. I don't know, you guys. I really don't. Let's just pray for health, because let's be real, you guys. Bradley Beal, who we can talk about later, is probably not going to come back for another few weeks. We're going to talk about that later. Also, it's not even just the Suns. There's just a lot of injuries league-wide. Like tonight, former Phoenix Sun Chris Paul, he's going to be out for the Clippers and probably against the Clippers and probably for a few games. They just lost, not Jordan Poole, they just lost Gary Payton II for an indefinite amount of time. LaMelo Ball's out. There's all these like huge injuries in the league. I'm like, let's just, can we just turn off the injury bug, please? I don't know, you guys. It was just a bad night. And that's what's so frustrating. It's like I talked about earlier before my dog walked in. Like, the fact that the Raptors were on a back-to-back, the fact that the Suns had 2 days off to rest, practice, watch some film, you know, maybe go explore Toronto and all that, do whatever they needed to do, you would think they'd be like laser focused, right? And look, we're going to talk about it later, but it's a game full of runs. It's a tale of two halves, and that definitely was witnessed tonight. There were so many freaking runs in this game, but we just came out flat in a lot of different areas of the game. There's only a few sequences and a few moments where I was like, oh, that looks like the Phoenix Suns. Oh, and we had Kevin Durant return tonight. You would have thought this would have been an easy win for the Suns. And that was just not the case, y'all. Speaking of Kevin Durant, I'm going to take a sip of my water and you're going to watch the Kevin Durant drop because, spoiler alert, he had like 30 points tonight. I always say that these live shows are going to be like short, but they always end up probably being like 30 minutes or longer, and that's probably going to be the case. Cheers. Kevin Wayne Durant. Kevin Durant does return from injury tonight, which was a nice little refresher, seeing how Bradley Beal, who again we're going to talk about later, is still out for the foreseeable future. Not the best shooting night from Kevin Durant, but let's be real, nobody really shot good tonight besides like Yusuf Nurkic. But you know what? I thought KD looked pretty good out there, especially in spurts and in like big sequences and moments from the game. Kevin Durant looked pretty good. I mean, he literally hit, I believe, the second or first shot of the game. So you knew Kevin Durant was feeling fine, like right on cue. Kevin Durant is back, right? Finished the game with 30 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Again, 11 for 30 shooting. Terrible shooting night, but I don't care. Still finished with 30 points. Excuse me. And a couple quick little notes on Kevin Durant, by the way. As I mentioned, I believe he hit the first shot of the game. Let me just see here. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I wrote it down in this file. I'm sorry, you guys. I got notes all over the place. Kevin Durant. Okay, so there was one sequence in the second half where it really, I even tweeted this out. I said Kevin Nurkic, because it seemed like Kevin Durant and Yusuf Nurkic were kind of carrying the Suns back into this game, especially like in the third quarter. Nurk had a beautiful backdoor play from Kevin Durant. Nurk sort of got away with like throwing an elbow and had like a nice little spin layup dunk. You clearly knew he probably got away from a foul right there. And then later on, Nurkic had a layup. Jordan Goodwin hit a 3, which Kevin Durant assisted on, by the way. Nurkic hit free throws. Okogie had a dunk, another Kevin Durant assist. KD had 2 points. Then Nurk hit a 3. Then Kevin Durant had a layup, which Nurk assisted on. So Kevin Durant, besides the poor shooting, looked really good. And then going into the fourth quarter, at the start of the fourth quarter, I think this happened maybe in like 40-ish seconds or more. Kevin Durant had 5 quick points, just like that. Raptors called a safety timeout, and then out of the timeout, KD scored again. Like, it's Kevin Durant, dude. Like, it's just amazing that a player like that can go on a run in a matter of like minutes. And it's like when we say Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers, if not the greatest scorer ever, besides Stephen Curry, it's true. Like, he's incredible. You know, again, bad shooting night. He was 2 for 8 from 3, 11 for 30 from the field, but he still finished with 30 points and 6 assists. I love it. Kevin freaking Durant. Let's continue on, because it wasn't all bad news bears. This is sort of where I get a little positive here. Sort of. Trust me, I'm very frustrated with the loss. Don't get me wrong. But I thought Yusuf Nurkic had a really good game tonight, you guys. Like I mentioned, he sort of had that own little run with him and KD, where it seemed like they were going back and forth, whether they were scoring or assisting on a whole bunch of points. But it wasn't just that. He was playmaking pretty well tonight. He was getting really physical, which I loved. And he finished the game with 19 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists. I mentioned the playmaking, 2 blocks, only 2 turnovers, and he was 8 for 12 from the field. He did all that in 30 minutes. I thought he played pretty well. And that's sort of another frustrating thing too. Like, Nurkic has a really dominant game on a night where Booker is having a terrible game, rolls his ankle, Kevin Durant's trying to save us, and we still lose. You know what I mean? That's just another frustrating thing. I know Eric Gordon didn't have the best night tonight. He only had 10 points, but I thought he had some good sequences out there. Speaking of Eric Gordon, I wrote down some notes here. Eric Gordon had this nice pass to Josh Okogie, who then no-looked it to Yusuf Nurkic. There was a few plays where Eric Gordon would just drive in, didn't matter what Raptors defender was on him, and he laid it up and scored. That's what I love about Eric Gordon. He's just so calm. He's always in control. He's great at getting to the basket and scoring. He knows where to be. He's just a solid veteran in this league. Just kind of sucks that we couldn't have like an offensive explosion kind of night from Eric Gordon. Josh Okogie had a couple good moments here and there. He finished the game with 10 points and 7 rebounds. I think I wrote it down. There was a few plays where Josh Okogie just seemed to jump out of the building for an offensive rebound. By the way, Jordan Goodwin, who I thought provided some good minutes tonight, had a really nice play where he was driving on the fast break, spun around, and passed it to Keita Bates-Diop for the score. So that was a really good play. By the way, Jordan Goodwin tonight, 9 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Jordan Goodwin, it may not seem like it, you guys. He's been playing really good his last few games. He's piling up the points. He's contributing really across the board, and he's playing the best defense that he possibly can. There was one sequence, and I know it's just one play, where he had the ball kind of sort of near the, I think it was the left side, and he dished it off to Eric Gordon, and then he ran over to set a screen. Gordon kind of just held the ball. Then Goodwin ran away from the screen. Eric Gordon called him back. He went over, and then I think Gordon missed or turned the ball over. That was just a bad possession. It was just one of those nights. It just seemed like nothing was in sync. I don't know, you guys. I really don't. Kind of just looking across the board here. Yuta didn't have a great night. Didn't even hit he had one free throw, but missed all of his shots. Keita Bates-Diop, 9 points. I don't know. I just really don't know. Let's look at the team stats. We shot 40% tonight. Here's what's weird about this game. Looking at it statistically, is the Raptors made 10 threes. We made 7. They shot 37% from 3, but they only made 3 more threes than us. But it was their attempts. They were 10 for 27. We were 7 for 26. And especially in the first half, they were really not only taking their threes, but they were making their threes. And I believe another area, if I'm looking at the numbers correctly, another area where we absolutely got dominated on was points in the paint. They had 60 points in the paint compared to our 48. And you know what's weird? They had 22 fouls in this game. Both teams only had 10 turnovers, by the way. So it's just one of those frustrating losses. How do you have 22 fouls, only make 10 threes, and the Suns still don't win, man? Can you guys tell that I'm frustrated about this loss? I can't. Anyways, you guys, still looking at the numbers here. They only won the rebounding battle by 2, 47 rebounds. That's actually pretty good for the Phoenix Suns. Both teams had 25 assists. Like I mentioned, both teams 10 turnovers each and 5 blocks each. They had 10 points off turnovers. We got killed in the paint, and the largest lead for the Raptors was 12. I think that's pretty much it, you guys. I think that's all I got. I'm just going to check Twitter one more time just to make sure there's no updates or anything on Booker. I'm not currently seeing anything. I'm pretty sure after I end the live show, that's when like Dwayne Rankin, who is in Toronto right now, will update us on Booker. But and I'll just read you guys one more tweet from Zona Hoops here, who's a great follow on Twitter. Ooh, and then I want to talk about another thing too before we get out of here. But let me just read you this tweet from Zona, somebody that I really like and follow and respect. He does a great job. He writes for Bright Side of the Sun. He's on the Locked On Suns podcast sometimes, but shout out to Zona. He says, bad shooting night. It happens. Just got to hope Book's ankle is good. He was running off pure adrenaline plus Advil. Don't agree with playing him looking like that at all. Way too short-sighted after what he's been through already with the foot and leg injuries. That's a tweet from Zona Hoops, and I agree with him. And hold on, wait for it, guys. Wait for it. Okay, never mind. And look, one more negative thing here that I'll say. One more negative thing. And please don't unsubscribe because I'm negative in this live show. It's just one game. I'm just negative for this game. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm not trying to make this sound like a hot take or anything, but it's kind of true in at least the way I look at it. I think it's the shoes. I'm sorry. It just seems like ever since Devin Booker, came out with those new shoes, it seems like the injuries have happened, and I just
click it off, dude. Click it off.
I don't know. I'm just saying. And you know what? I'm far from a sneakerhead. And look, everyone has their own opinion, fashion, it's whatever. Everyone has their own opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of the Booker shoes. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
You what?
Sorry. Devin Booker, you might want to go back to those purple Kobe's and all that you were wearing last year, man. Anyways, I think the last thing that we'll talk about while we're waiting for an update on Booker. By the way, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, get them in right now. And I'll pretty much just read the chat. If you have a question, you have a comment, you have a concern, get it in right now. Maybe we'll go for like 10 more minutes. So get your comments and stuff in now. While we're waiting for those, I believe it happened last night. And look, and by the way, this isn't a Suns related thing, just so you guys know. And I didn't hear the full interviews. There's always two sides to every story. But Jason Kidd sort of went on a epic rant, and I love it. And I want to share it with you guys. And then I want to read you guys a tweet that I had kind of following up with that. And again, I didn't hear the full interview. I didn't hear the full question. So maybe there's two sides to every story. Maybe Jason Kidd kind of went overboard with everything, but I love his answer here. So Hoop Central reposted this. The original person who tweeted it was Coops with a Z on Twitter. And it's Jason Kidd talking about staying positive, writing positive stuff. It's funny that I'm bringing this up on a live show that I'm super negative on. That's kind of the point, sort of ironic, but let's listen to Jason Kidd because I absolutely love this rant that he goes on here. Cause I'm going to go on a rant after this.
Big deal about last year, but you're not making a big deal about it this year because shit's going good, right? So write some positive shit.
I just asked you a question.
And I'm giving you a fucking answer.
I love it.
You guys, there's all right to write positive stuff. People will read your positive shit. You don't always have to be negative, right? Like it's just the world's already negative enough, right? So let's see some positive stuff on some positive people that are doing their job on a nightly basis.
Making it a lot easier to do that this year.
Well, we're only into this year. We can't go back to last year, right? Like, that's the fucking problem. Have a good night.
I love it. I absolutely love what Jason Kidd did right there, you guys. And again, two sides to every story. I mean, maybe him and this reporter aren't that cool. And speaking of that, I tweeted out, I had like a follow-up tweet in there. And look, I'm not trying to like preach to you guys here. And you guys know it's NBA Twitter and people are going to be negative no matter what. But I had a follow-up tweet. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me zoom in a little bit. And I'm really talking to mostly wait, where did my camera go? There we go. I'm mainly talking to like media, beat writers, podcasters, content creators like myself, etc. That it's okay to talk about positive stuff. Because again, what did I say at the very beginning of the show, you guys? I said, don't get it twisted. I'm a very positive person. I'm a very positive Suns fan. When Suns Twitter was melting down when we were 4-6, I came on here for an hour and a half and was defending the Suns pretty much. And some of you guys really wanted Frank Vogle fired, by the way. You should be ashamed of yourselves. But anyways, pretty much a friendly reminder here from Suns Geek. Friendly reminder to the media, the fans, the writers, podcasters, content creators. It's okay to talk about positive stuff. It's okay to write about that stuff. If you are a podcaster, because I don't really consider myself one, it's okay to be positive. I just love that from Jason Kidd. But anyways, I got a couple questions here, then we'll wrap things up, you guys. Just fix my camera here. Okay. Let's see. That's funny. Jason has a funny comment here. Is it time to trade Drew Eubanks, Josh Okogie in a package deal? Hell no. Jason, if you think you can come up with a great deal that would work out for both sides, then sure, shoot it at me. But that's not going to happen. Anyways, good question here from Abraham. Appreciate you. Who says, do you think Nazir Little and Grayson Allen would have made a difference? And thoughts on Nazir Little's newborn? First off, congratulations to Nazir Little and his family, who just, Nazir Little and his, or I'm assuming wife, girlfriend, whatever, gave birth to a new baby girl. And they said it on the broadcast. Her name is Brielle. So shout out to Brielle. Congratulations. And absolutely would have Nazir Little and Grayson Allen would have made a difference. Now, would we have won the game? I don't know. It would have been interesting to see them on the court and see if we would have still had that same energy and started off the way we did. But you guys know Grayson Allen has been contributing and has played great as a starter. And Nazir Little, he may not put up the statistics every night, but you're damn sure he brings the energy and can give you some highlight moments here and there. So yes, I think they would have made a difference, but would we have won the game? I don't know. Stonk Mark says Kevin, Devin, Murray, Booker. I love it. Well, guys, if that's all the questions, comments, concerns you guys got, I think that's pretty much it. Ooh, maybe we should start up that new segment there. We'll call it questions, comments, concerns, and that'll kind of be like our closing segment from here on out. Also, you guys, final kind of housekeeping notes here. Again, I'm going to keep on working on the little left, right, headphone, microphone issue I'm having. It's been a consistent issue on this channel. And I know that sometimes I'm a little inconsistent with the live shows. I'm going to try to step that up. I mean, you guys know me, one-man show here. I've always said real life comes first because it does. Sometimes, guys, I come home from my second job and I'm just like, dude, I'm tired as hell. I'm like, I don't want to do a live show, Like, I'll just be real with you guys. I'll just keep it 100. Like, I come home and I'm just exhausted, And I know, like, live streaming doesn't sound exhausting, but it really can be, especially when you do it a lot. Like, I don't know how my friends over at the Suns Jam Session podcast do it after every single game. So what I'm trying to say is I'm going to do my best to pump out more live shows from here on out. I kind of took Thanksgiving break off. You know, I rested, I recharged my batteries, and I think I'm ready to go. I've also uploaded 3 times this week, so I'm going to keep uploading tomorrow and Friday and just keep going, you know. Every once in a while I might take a day off here and there, but I want to keep doing these live shows, you know, and stay consistent with them. So hopefully that happens. Shout out to my guy, the QC. Appreciate you being here, brother. He says, at least the hat is dope. Thank you, man. He says, we always got that going for us. Exactly. You guys are great. Also, again, because I love this comment so much, and I wish I would have clicked a little star by it. Here it is. Again, the best comment from the night right here. Negative schmegative. Thanks for keeping it 100, Sons Geek. I love it. I love that comment so much. All right, guys, that's it. I'm getting out of here. You guys already know my little spiel. You know, stay safe out there. Stay positive. I know that this was sort of a negative live show, but stay positive. Be nice to people. Be kind to people. And happy holidays. You know, it's almost December. You know, whether or not you celebrate Christmas, it's still the holidays and everything. I'm really excited. Got some good stuff to look forward to. Our next game is Friday versus the Denver Nuggets. And yes, I'm going live for that. I don't care how tired I am. I'll drink 5 cups of coffee to stay up for that game. Be going live for that. And then I think the next day we play the Grizzlies, I believe. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. God bless you guys. Stay safe. And no matter what happens, you guys, win or lose, Phoenix Suns for life. Appreciate your guys' support. If it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. Peace out. God bless. And go Suns.